It's one of the greatest milestones of human parenthood, and honestly, one of the most stressful: potty training. It takes months, sometimes years, of patience, rewards, accidents, and absolute exhaustion to teach a young human where and when to relieve themselves. If you've ever raised a puppy, you know the struggle isn't much better. It's a grueling, weeks-long routine of midnight alarms, backyard pacing, frantic dashes to the grass, and scrubbing carpets every time you miss a cue. But then, you bring home a tiny 8-week-old kitten. You set a plastic pan filled with clay granules on the bathroom floor, gently place the kitten inside it once, and walk away. And that's it. Your work is done. Without a single lecture, reward chart, or disciplinary talk, that tiny creature instantly understands the assignment. For the rest of their life, they'll seek out that exact pan, dig a neat little hole, relieve themselves, and carefully bury the evidence. To us, it feels like a miraculous free pass. We assume cats are just incredibly clean, polite, and civilized animals that naturally prefer our standards of indoor hygiene. But if you peel back the layers of feline neurology, you realize your cat didn't adopt this habit to be a good roommate. They didn't do it to please you, and they certainly aren't thinking about hygiene. The fact that a cat instinctively uses a litter box is actually driven by a dark, survivalist anxiety. It's an ancient psychological compulsion rooted in the brutal politics of territorial warfare and the terror of being hunted. To understand why a kitten arrives in your home pre-programmed to use a litter box, you have to understand what waste actually represents in the animal kingdom. To a human, urine and feces are just biological waste to be flushed away and forgotten. But to an ambush predator, waste is information. It's a highly detailed chemical broadcasting system. A single drop of feline urine contains a massive cocktail of pheromones, hormonal data, and biological markers. It tells every animal in the vicinity exactly who you are, how healthy you are, whether you're ready to mate, and exactly when you last walked through the area. In the wild, leaving your waste exposed is the equivalent of broadcasting your exact GPS coordinates to the entire neighborhood. And for a small, solitary feline, that's incredibly dangerous. Because cats exist simultaneously as apex predators and vulnerable prey, they live in a constant state of tactical calculation. Larger predators, like wolves, hyenas, or large canines, are constantly tracking them. If a wildcat leaves its waste exposed, it leaves a burning neon sign that leads those larger predators straight to its hunting grounds and its sleeping quarters. So, evolution built a fail-safe mechanism into the feline brain, the instinct to bury. By burying their waste under sand, dirt, or loose soil, a wildcat effectively chokes off the chemical scent trail. It's an act of absolute submissiveness to the ecosystem. It translates to, I am small. I am not looking for a fight. I am trying to remain completely invisible. When you bring a kitten home and provide a box full of loose, diggable litter, you aren't training them. You're simply exploiting a prehistoric psychological trigger. The texture of the litter under their paws whispers to their deepest survival instincts. This is loose earth. This is where you hide your tracks so you don't get eaten. But this instinctual programming comes with a dark, complicated flip side. Because the litter box is so deeply tied to a cat's sense of survival, it's also the very first thing to break when their psychology shifts. Every year, thousands of cats are surrendered to shelters for a behavioral issue called inappropriate elimination, the clinical term for peeing outside the box. To a frustrated owner scrubbing a rug, it feels like an act of defiance, spite, or revenge. We assume the cat is angry at us for staying out too late or changing their food brand, but modern veterinary behaviorists have proven that cats don't possess the cognitive architecture for spite. They don't pee on your clothes to make a point. They do it because their psychological safe house has been compromised. When a cat stops using the litter box, it's almost always a symptom of profound environmental stress or physical pain. Remember, a cat feels completely exposed when they're eliminating. In the wild, that's the moment they're most vulnerable to attack. If the litter box is placed in a loud basement next to a clanging washing machine or in a high-traffic hallway where they can be cornered by a dog or a child, the box ceases to feel like a sanctuary. It becomes a trap. Their brain overrides the instinct to bury and shifts into a different survival mechanism. Find a spot with a clear line of sight, or find a spot that smells intensely like my human. When a stressed cat pees on your bed or your laundry, they aren't trying to punish you. They're trying to self-soothe. Your bed smells more like you than any other place in the house. To an anxious cat, mixing their scent with your overwhelming scent profile is a desperate psychological attempt to create a secure territorial boundary. It's a cry for safety, misread by humans as an act of war. There's an even deeper layer to this territorial chess match. Sometimes a cat will intentionally stop burying their waste altogether, leaving it proudly exposed on top of the litter, or right on the living room rug. Behaviorists call this middening, and it's the ultimate power move in feline psychology. While small, vulnerable cats bury their waste to hide, dominant apex predators do the exact opposite. Lions, tigers, and dominant feral tomcats leave their waste out in the open on the borders of their territory to signal dominance. It's a physical challenge that reads, "I own this space. Cross this line, and we fight." If your domestic cat suddenly stops burying their waste and leaves it as a glaring monument in the center of the room, they aren't being lazy. They're experiencing a major territorial crisis. They might feel threatened by a stray cat they saw through the window, or they might be trying to assert dominance over a new roommate or pet. They've stopped trying to hide from the ecosystem and have decided to start shouting at it. It's easy to take the miracle of the litter box for granted. We love the convenience of an animal that arrives in our lives prepackaged with perfect bathroom manners. We treat it as a basic, low-maintenance feature of keeping a cat. But the next time you watch your cat neatly step into their box, dig a precise hole, and carefully cover it up, take a moment to appreciate the silent, psychological tightrope they're walking. That simple, quiet routine isn't a sign of a civilized house pet. It's a living echo of the ancient forest. It's a reminder that beneath that soft, purring exterior lies a creature that spends every single day quietly calculating its own survival in a world built for giants. Thanks for watching. If you want to dive deeper into the hidden psychology of the feline world, hit subscribe and make sure their sanctuary is safe tonight.